Dark Silence Reviews.
If you enjoy this content, please remember to like and subscribe.
Anything?
Nothing. Not that I can see. Telling you, this door's a waste of time.
Whatever's back there, it's important enough that she's put it behind this thing. I think the only way in is to solve it. There's an empty slot, so there must be a missing piece that fits here.
Okay, let's say we all go hunting around this place for the missing cylinder tumbler thing. Even if we manage to find it, how do we solve the rest of it?
Maybe there's something else in the atrium that's like a clue.
Why would anyone put a clue for their massively complicated lock right out in the open? Practically right in front of it.
Just a guess, but why not try this?
Good guess.
Well, I wasn't actually expecting that to work.
Almost like you knew.
I won't give away any spoilers, but I'm in unknown territory now myself.
That's a lot of dollar for an old movie.
Yeah, slow burn. I did warn right before we started that it was gonna be a slow burn, so I feel like a correct horror movie knows how to put stuff into slow burn, and then like keep you captivated to want to know what happens next.
You know
It's an art form to keep the audience entertained.
Be a lock nearby. No one says that, Maddie.
The only movie that kind of breaks that rule so far is probably Terrifier and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Those films seem to be changing up a lot of the aesthetic of horror films. The Pooniverse, you know?
Something's missing.
You know exactly what that is, too.
You're coming with me, buddy. What's this? Some sort of toy hammer. Looks like it should go with something. One hillbilly and his hammer reunited. Okay, time to
Hillbilly.
unlock that gate. What prize lies behind the mystery door? Do I even want to know? Maybe it's a pattern, but I can't make heads or tails of it. Or heads and heads, and heads. Huh. That was not so bad.
Well, if you were hoping for some insight into how Augustine's mind works, I think you got your wish.
Hooray.
I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this.
Let's take a look around. Be careful. What? Something unearthly for sure.
Maybe we'll do a live segment where the mask comes out and we talk about Beetlejuice after I go watch it though. Let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Is that dried blood? Well, that's cheery. This whole place is like a film set.
Akkadian demon. Mesopotamia. 23rd century BCE. Statue from our Akkadian Empire. Cuneiform on fragmentary clay tablets discovered nearby suggests it represents a mythological demon. Worshippers believed it capable of bestowing supernatural powers in exchange for the devotion, protecting them and destroying their enemies. Oh, Beetlejuice for Halloween? Yeah. Assuming it's still in theaters by then. At most, I think they stay in there for a month to 3 weeks, so I think after 2 weeks they take it out of IMAX, so you definitely want to go in before then. Fold of Fear. Manifestation. Chapter 28, Manifestation. Getting back to the settlement would have been easy a few hours ago, but the starlight was now suffocated. Strangled by storm clouds, Beatrice could neither see nor hear whether she'd been followed. Not with the air so full of driving rain, as well as the crackling of crows cutting across each other quickly enough to sound like mocking laughter. Their cacophony never seemed to fade, no matter how much distance she put between herself and the stage. At least she couldn't hear the squelching, the slithering, the screaming. Yet still she pushed on through into the roaring darkness. There was no way she could stop. Not now. Not when she could have not when she had no clue where that thing might be. The thing that Stamper had called conjured. Created not when the memory of its rising from the sludge and the ripping Ron apart was still burning bright in her mind. This has got to be one of the killers. It's always one of the killers, right? Something smashed against her shoulder, sending her spinning, tumbling backward into stones, sliding down into shallow salt water with a noisy splash. She landed with a painful cry. The sharp, metallic taste of blood filled her mouth, and she released an awful scream as her nerves began to burn. She tried to force herself back up, only for her bad ankle to buckle. She dropped down with a scream of pain. Beatrice reached for the rocks for support, trying to find purchase. But her grasping fingers met only what felt like sinew and spines and sludge. For all the tears beginning to fill her eyes, she could just about see Drani's form looming over her, still dripping with the mud it was born from, and the gore of her friends. The clouds closed above, the rain beginning to drum once more. A knotted appendage in the monster's loathsome form caught the distance, dying half-light as its body moved to strike. Interesting. I wonder what serial killer was talking about.
These mean anything to you?
Yeah, actually. It's exactly like in my film, The Prophecy of Pain. You know, right after they open the tomb?
Oh, yeah, totally. It is exactly like that. Huh.
There is no tomb in The Prophecy of Pain.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was getting it mixed up with one of the
Come
other...
to think of it, I don't think there are any tombs in any of my movies. Never been into ancient curses and all that kind of fantasy stuff. But you know that, right? Since you're such a big fan of my work?
Okay, look.
You haven't seen a single one of my films, have you?
I am a fan of your reputation.
Sure.
Honestly, just when it comes to movies, I'm more of a... kind of guy. Like, crowd pleaser. Is it Cliff Barra?
My films examine the persistence of evil in the heart of humanity. I'm sorry they're not crowd-pleasing enough for you. But now that you've shown your hand, why don't you tell me how you actually came into possession of the film?
Well, if that's what you want to know, I'm afraid I am gonna need something in exchange.
Why don't we make it interesting?
How so?
A little wager.
Terms?
If I win, you tell me what I want to know.
And if I win?
I'll give you my section of the film.
Deal. That's official. You can't take that back.
Jesus, hot sauce. We're not 12.
Flip for it?
Sure, but I get to call it. I call it or no deal.
All right. What's it gonna be?
Tails.
Crap.
I believe we had a deal.
There's not really much to tell. I won it in a bet from a real down on his luck guy. Now he's dead. So, he's not exactly missing it.
Who was he?
A guy called Robbie G. That's how I knew him.
Robert Green?
Sounds right. He was basically 1 foot in the grave when I met him.
Poor Robert. What happened to him?
From what I gathered, it sounded like he had some serious daddy issues. Never shut up about how much his dad fucked up his life. Anyways, there you go.
Damn. So we just figured out that Robert went downhill after that night. That's crazy. Wow. So he's dead.
This is... No. There's no way. It can't be.
Hey, Linda. You should really come see.
What is this?
It was just displayed here, open to this page.
Talismans. Contain wells of great power, can take many physical forms, often manifest as keepsakes of past victims. Victims? Keepsakes of past victims, which can become protective talismans for those who bear them.
What do you think it means?
I don't know. But it must be important to Augustine if it was left open on this page.
Maybe it's...
Sheriff Green!